Alright, greetings guys and welcome to this brief tutorial on the Church Membership 1.0 software. It is designed to computerize most of the church's records. This software is not internet based, it is desktop based, but it's very useful for managing membership and especially financial information for churches. It's especially designed for Seventh-day congregations, but other churches may find it useful. Alright, enjoy. Alright, greetings guys and welcome to this introduction and overview of this software called Church Membership 1.0. It is a church management software that seeks to computerize most of the church's operations, including membership management and management of finances and Sabbath school records and reporting, the reports that comes with those. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be presenting from the software itself, so I'm going to be bringing it up. It has a logging and it has a logging section that allows you to keep out those you need to keep out and keep in those you need to keep in. So let's go first to the membership section over here called the church clerk. You'll find two main areas for membership. You have the member information and you have the membership list. There are two separate lists because the member information is a general list where every record inside the database is added, including persons who are not baptized members or even transferred members, but they are actively participating in the church, whether they are part of the Sabbath school or they are returning tithe and offering. They are added here. Alright, so we can add a new person. Okay. Alright, fill in the other information. Right, only 5 fields are really required for the general information person. So you save the person information and then you'll notice something here that it actually adds a family for John Brown. If his family member card was added before or somebody from his family was added before, you could always click this list and select that he's a part of that other family. But let's say he starts a new family and you have other information that's here that you could add about him, including a photo. Right, you could add a photo of him. I do not have much photo, let me use mine. Right, and you could also add family photo, but you would add that in the family information section. You say edit family info, you could add a photo right here. Alright, I'll keep it like that. Then you save, and if this person is a baptized member of the church, then you go here to add him to membership. Alright, so you would go add to membership and you say added by baptism. He was baptized in the year 2009 on February 7th, and it could form a church, could be in, maybe he was a member of another church before, an officiating minister. You could say Lincoln Smith. and save. Those records are usually what the church clerk may need. Later on, unfortunately, if he's removed from membership, you can click remove, and it will give you a warning to say that this person record will be removed from most tables. So if in other words, if you're removing them from membership, and let's say they will continue as a part of the church to be a part of the Sabbath school, you'll basically have to add them again. Okay, you'll have to add their name again and start all over. You can edit this record, by the way. You can add other information and so on. Then for spiritual gifts, for their own, for the record of the church, and for those who are selecting leadership, you can add skills that the person may have. Let's say this person is knows building construction. You could add. Let's say this person have talents. They're artistic. He's an artist, and he has previously served in these departments. He was once an elder. He once served in the communication department, and so on. These records are just there for that members. Ministry involvement are stuff that will be added elsewhere. For example, if it's a part of a Sabbath school class, it will be show up here, and if he's elected as a church officer, it will show up here. If he's a member of a committee, it will show up here, and so on. All right, Sabbath school attendance again will show up here. So let's close this. So we have 3 members. For the other lists, when you go to membership lists, you'll notice that the record, we actually have only 1 member in this church because this person was a member, but he was dropped from membership. You could see why. It was removed from membership by transfer. He was transferred out. Okay, so this record is uneditable, but the record is there. Let's close that, and then we have 1 member. The other person that was in the membership list is not a member, obviously, but he can be a part of the Sabbath school, and so on. That's not really it for the membership list. You can have special days. If you notice, we have a list of all the birthdays. Those whose birth dates are added to their record, you can see a list of all the birthdays. You can print this list, right? You can print, let's say you want to have a birthday club and so on. You can use it for that. Then other stuff on the church clerk, the officers list. The officers list it has a bug right now, so it's a section that it would be nice when it's working, but it has a bug that I need to deal with. So let me see UI. You would basically add different officers. AY society leader. It's a board position, yes. Right, so there's a bug that I have to deal with before I can release that part of it. But the other part that I want to show you is the baby dedication record. That's pretty straightforward. When it's merely for the sake of keeping a history of baby dedication, because later on in life people come back for this record. So it doesn't simply add in the birth certificate number, the child's name, last name, date of birth, date of dedication, officiating minister. Once you add all of that information, it will add it to this list, and you can print the list, and that's it. It doesn't do much. You can search the list, and you can print the list. It doesn't have any what do you call that now, any connection with the overall membership of the church, but it's a good piece of information to have. The other part is the ACMS list. This list is done for the new system that's being done for the Worldwide Seventh-day Adventist Church online. So if you had this program before using, it would produce a list that is ready to be uploaded to the ACMS, that you could print, for example, to Excel and export. It should work to Excel. You probably just need to adjust the page settings and so on. But this list, I understand, is ready to be uploaded into the ACMS system. Alright, so that's for the church clerk section. Another part of the church clerk section that I want to show you is reporting. For the quarterly reports, statistical report, let's say reporting for the first quarter, the second quarter of 2020, you could say prepare report, and it would give you some data that you would need for reports. Some of it you would have to enter yourself. For example, the church card name and address, you'd have to enter that manually, but it automatically calculates a membership, right? It calculates a membership where just 1 second here. Okay, so sorry about that. So it tells you that it had one member, it added 0, and it ended with, and so on. So that would be calculated based on how many members you added. Other stuff you'd have to enter there. Also, Sabbath school membership would be done automatically for you if you had the Sabbath school site set up, right? And you could go to page 2 and it will show you members added and so on. I think the person I added might have not been a part of this quarter. That's why you're not seeing the result, but that's something to report. All right, so let's go to the Treasury section, which is a very interesting section. Now let's go to the Sabbath school, since it's in line here. Let's go to Sabbath school classes. I have one class already set up. I could add a new one. I could say it's unit number 2, and I give it a name. Let's call it Moses, since I'm using Bible character names. And this is an adult class. Baptismal goal, outreach activity. Those are information you could add. And I say save. And once I save, then I can start adding members to the class. And if you notice, John Brown is available. I'm wondering why the other person not available. I'll check that out in a while. John Brown can be added. And I need to put in the position just a member. Right? So one person added. It doesn't show up now, but it's actually there. Let me close this and break it up. That's a bug that I need to fix. Let me add him. It should show up now, yes. Then I can go and do the class register here. So let's say the register for last Sabbath. I could do a new report and say John Brown is present, and I enter all of that information and questions that are asked on the Sabbath school register, and I save report and close. So that becomes part of John Brown's record. I think one of the reasons John Brown was not available for this new class that I created was that no, the other members were not available because Jaheim and Damian are part of this class already, so they would not have been available for the class that I was adding a while ago. Alright, so that's for Sabbath school record. Oh yes, there's a reporting section for Sabbath school, the attendance statistics. Right, for statistics, you could do reports like for all, and I could say for the quarter, you're noticing that you're seeing the register is saying that only John Brown was present at Sabbath school on June 20th, and it says members present, only 1, closing distributed, only 1, and so on. So those are good reports that for the Sabbath school. Then we have the Treasury section, where the treasurers record giving. You can go to the first part you want to do is to add your income. Most of these are default incomes that are there, but you can add your own for your local church. So let's say you have an income called, let's say you have a care fund, and you'll decide that this is local church budget only, right? And you close. Then you would go to trail sheets. The treasurers will know what this means. They go to a Sabbath. Let's say they go to the 20th, and they say new envelope, and this envelope comes from a member, or it could have been anonymous. The person didn't put a name, or a general connection, meaning that if this is a general offering where it's not coming from a specific individual, it's coming from just a collection. Let's say that's the loose offering on Sabbath. That would be general collection. But let's say a member is giving, and we're going to find a member. Let's say John Brown. If you notice, Jaim's name is not in there because he's removed from membership. And you say the envelope number is 1. Again, the treasurers will be acquainted with this type of setup, and you add the amount. So let's say he gives 1,500 for tithe, and he gives 500 as covenant offering, and he's giving to the care fund $400 to the care fund, and close. This envelope is done. You just close this and create a new envelope. Let's do a general collection. Let's say this one was let's say number 3. Save it first and then add items. So this is a divine service offering, and it's 8,500 that was collected, and close. Let's do one more. I did miss number 2, so let me put number 2 and select member. Let's say this is who didn't give anything yet, John Brown, and I save and then add items. Then let's say this person give 5,700 for tithe and give 600 for offering, and they give $900 towards the wheel fund. Wheel fund not there. If wheel fund is not there, I think I can add it from here. I can say wheel, and it's for 9 to 10, right? And now I can select wheel from the list and close. Really, I must make a disclaimer that this thing is set up to match the treasury system of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, a local Seventh-day Adventist Church. So, just for those who might be watching who are not Seventh-day Adventists. So we close and we have the record there. What the treasurers will do is that when they come to the dates, they'll see for the dates, any date that is bold, that's the date that has a record. And I think we should have some record in here. Like, for example, this one goes back to May to March 2020, right? And so on. Let me close this. And one of the best parts of this program is that it prepares remittance reports automatically. When you go here, for the month of June 2020, it has only 1 week report. If for each week in June, it would have listed it here, and the reports are displayed here. And this report can be printed to an Excel file, right? And that Excel file is ready to be saved and emailed to the conference. If you notice, it is labeled week 1 already. If it had 4 weeks, it would have used a different sheet for each week. And it automatically calculates the totals and puts the offerings where they're supposed to be. You have tithe in one column, offering in one column, in gatherings, special offering, other income, and put the explanation over here. that report is ready to be sent off. It also have a remittance summary where again the treasurers would know this, the report, how it goes. You have tithe, offering, CWD, the 90% wheel portion, and wheel is specific to Central Jamaica Conference. So if a conference doesn't have wheel, they don't need to add it, any income to it. All right, so that's there, and it breaks it down, the portion that goes to the conference and the portion that goes to the local church. All right, so the total for the conference is 11,000, local church 6,000, and it's prepared by, and so on, and this can be printed again. You can decide to auto size different columns, and you can set how you want it to be displayed and all of that. I'll just click export and adjust it in Excel as required. So here it is, summary is done, and you can enter the rest of information that is there. Let's close this. Another type of report that you can get is the financial statistical report, where you can decide to do a report on different income. So let's say you are having a fund that you want to keep track of. Most times, let's say tithe, and you want to see the monthly report of tithe. You can see that for the year 2020 you got 2.5 for January, 5.8 for March, and 7.2 for June. And the total for the year is 1,500. I could also do an annual report, and I could compare year by year. I could compare 2017 with 2018 and 2019 and so on a monthly basis too. I could do a comparison, if you notice, here with tithe and offering is the same thing. Any income, I could do a report comparing it up to 10 years with each other. I can also look at individual giving and so on. All right, and all of this report can be printed. Another important report is that sometimes you may have an income, for example, Kuna report. You could do an individual report on it, and you could say you want the report for a specific period between June and, it said for the month of June 2017 and June 2017, and you could print this report. All right, very useful statistical report there. Right, you could adjust this as necessary. All right, let me close. Next, that would basically be it for the Treasury section. For the maintenance section, you have the church information that you could enter. These are useful for like the reporting and so on. You have the user information. This is where you manage the users. You could change your password, you could edit user information, put in your address. This again is useful for your reports, and you could do access control, meaning that if you're an admin and you want to restrict the areas that the people must have access to, you could check, you could say the person can only view in this section and so on. So you can create a new type of user, because right now you only have administrator, church clerk, church treasurer, and pastor. You could create a new type of user. You could say you're creating a user for a system administrator, and they would have view rights for everything but not editing rights. You can deactivate an account sorry, and you can reset a password. All right, if you need help, documentation is there, right? A user guide. And one final thing that you can do is that you can actually, if you have your membership record in an Excel file, you can upload it here, but the Excel file must be formatted according to a certain format. That I would have to probably put in the link in the video, so you can have that specific Excel file to format it accordingly. Once you do that, you can import members and so on. Here you can change the connection string for your server database, because this runs on a SQL database after installation. All right, thank you very much for watching. And to access this software, you can send me an email from the link below, or I'll put the link inside the video. But it needs some prerequisites. I'm going to be doing another video that shows you how to install it. All right, so watch out for the next video. Thank you.